Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would sit down with you guys and film another university related video. A few weeks ago I uploaded multiple back to school videos revolving university topics and a lot of you guys seem to love them and I'm so glad that you found them so helpful. But because I went away to America, they kind of got cut short and I didn't get to finish the ones that I really wanted to upload. So I thought because it's not back to school season anymore, I would start a university related series on my channel because obviously you guys know I'm a university student. I live that uni life. I'm a poor peasant, so I thought it would be incredibly helpful for me to share my wisdom. So today specifically I thought I'd sit down and share with you guys how I organize all of my university notes. But I thought before we get into the whole notes and stuff like that, we would talk about just the background as to what I'm doing at university and all that stuff, because I always get questions about it, so I thought I'd just cover it right here right now. So hello, my name is Amy. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I have been at university now for 3 years. I'm currently in my first semester of my 3rd year and I'm going to be graduating at the end of the year. Oh my god, so exciting. After that I plan to also do my honors, and then after that I have to do my masters. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Psychology at RMIT University in the city of Melbourne, and when I'm older I hope to be a psychologist. I don't know which particular psychologist I'd like to be. I'm leaning towards either like clinical or educational and developmental psychology because I like working with children and children who have disabilities and all that kind of stuff. I am not originally from Melbourne. I have moved from my country town in Victoria to go to university. I live independently. I live with one of my best friends. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, all the boring shiz, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get down to business. Dun dun to the feet, the hands. Basically, the whole point of this video is I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I follow when I write out all of my notes for university. Step number 1. What app do I use for writing my notes and how do I write my notes and all of that stuff on my laptop? When I go to a lecture, we get given slides and then I take those slides and I write notes. The app that I use for that is OneNote, and I cannot express my love for OneNote. Back in the day when I was a first year uni student and last year as well, I used to write each topic in a separate Word document, but then I would end up with a bunch of different documents. It was all saved in multiple different files on my computer, and let's be honest, it was just a little all over the place. The thing that I love about OneNote is that it's all in the one app. It's just all accessible. You don't have to have multiple different documents. It's just all in the one little application. Alright, so we're gonna try and film this on my vlogging camera. I'm sorry that obviously the quality is not the best. If you have Microsoft Word or any of that on your laptop, then you'll most likely have OneNote, and this is basically what it looks like. Oh my god. Up the top I have little tabs for all the stuff. I have to-do list, I have YouTube stuff, just random shiz, and then over here is the 3 different subjects that I'm studying this semester at university. Each one has their own little folder. Within that folder I have different pages for each week, so basically each week I just add a different page. When I have a shoot I have another little page. My other reason as to why I love OneNote is because it's done through the internet and it syncs to the app, so no matter what device you're on, you can have it on your iPad, you can have it on your iPhone, a different laptop if you get a new laptop. It's so easy. Just transfer all your files everywhere. Back in first year, I had a little bit of an issue because my laptop broke about a week before my exams and I lost everything. So now if my laptop is to break, it's all on OneNote and I can just re-download the app and I still have everything. Next thing we're going to talk about is the actual notes and how I go about all of that kind of stuff. Basically, when I'm getting ready to prepare for a lecture, normally our lecturer uploads the slides a day early and we can view the slides and whatnot before the lecture even starts. I like to go through that lecture and I summarize all the points in my own words before I get to the lecture. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just go to the lecture and they write that in the lecture, but I like to get familiar with the concepts a little bit. That way when the lecturer is talking, I'm not gonna have to like write down everything he's trying to say because I already have stuff written down and I can just kind of get key concepts that he's talking about or examples that he gives. I can pay way more attention if I'm not writing down notes vigorously in my lectures. So here's a little example of what my lecture slides look like from one of my subjects. Basically it's just dot pointed. Wow, beautiful. so just riveting. So I take the lecture slides and I just summarize them in my own dot point form. We usually get these things called learning objectives, which basically is just a summary of exactly what we're going to be covering in that lecture. So I like to break the lecture content down into exactly those learning objectives. Then I have it all organized in like very specific sections. I use a lot of headings, a lot of different text, a lot of like bolding, and I italicize and all of that stuff. So once I finished writing my notes from the lectures, I then collate everything and I put it in a nifty binder. I have talked about this in my school supplies haul, so a lot of you guys may know how I organize this, but if you haven't watched that yet, I am going to break it down again. Basically, I suggest instead of having different books and different binders and different folders for every subject, just collate them all into one big folder, so you're not having a bunch of different things. In first year I had different folders for everything, and it just got to the point where like notes were everywhere. I couldn't find anything. It was so annoying having to do things for exams. This way is just so much easier. This is my binder. I just got it from Officeworks and it has a shit ton of plastic pockets in it. Basically, this is like how my summaries used to look when I used it in Word, but obviously they look a little different now that I'm using it in OneNote. But yeah, so I had all my learning objectives here that I talked about before, and then I had the learning objective subheading, and then just all the little dot points of all the lectures. I've printed every single week off and I put them all in folders so they're all together. I then have other subjects also in here. As I will show you later, I also write summary notes which look like that. That's basically what I do. So then I put them in the same plastic pocket as this week that I'm summarizing, if that makes sense. So this is week 2, lecture 2, and that's the lecture 2 summary notes that I made. And the last thing that we're going to talk about today is how I write my summary notes. This is a very like individual way of how I study. I'm sure everybody has their own particular way, and this is mine. So after I've been to the lecture, I've written up all the notes, I've printed out the lecture notes, I like to sit down and try to fully understand the concepts and exactly what I learned that week. Studying is different from doing homework, it's different from doing assignments, because it's when you actually sit down and you're like, right, I understand this, I can explain this, I fully understand all these theories and all of that shit. My personal advice is try to do this every single week. It's the type of thing that if you get to the end of the semester and you haven't sat down and fully tried to comprehend the stuff that you learned, then you're just not going to remember it fully for the exam, and that's so stressful. Don't do that to yourself. I personally like to write little summaries, make them look all pretty. I use highlighters and all of that stuff, and it just makes me really engaged in what I'm doing. I also like to handwrite all of my summary notes because I feel like then I'm actually processing it in my brain more, I'm encoding it more, it goes into my long-term memory and I can remember it in the future. Hashtag psych knowledge, am I right? But yeah, that's how I study. So the first thing I do is go over to my iPad and I put up OneNote on my iPad. As I said, I can access this on my laptop, my phone, and my iPad, which is amazing. And there you go. There's the notes that we were looking at just before. Wow, amazing, beautiful. The two things that I use religiously while I write my summary notes are these highlighters here, and then I also use fine lighters. I use the highlighters to do the main kind of heading, and then I also highlight definitions or really important stuff that I need to know. And then I use the fine lighters to write subheadings, and I draw little boxes to divide all of the stuff. So as you can see here, I have this section, and all I did was rewrite it and I put it here. Bam, beautiful. The reason as to why I absolutely love doing little summaries like this is because A, I've just gotten into the habit of doing it, but also I feel like they're such a good way to revise things when you get to exams, because you've just got it all on one piece of paper and you can kind of like quiz yourself. So for example, if I wanted to learn about William James, who is a philosopher, I can be like, oh, what are his important achievements? And I can look away from the page and be like, his important achievements are this, and this, and then I can look back. Kind of like cue cards, but they're like massive cue cards because they're like on one page kind of thing. Yeah, that's how I do it. And that is basically how I organize all of my university notes. I hope this video was somewhat, oh, the sun's on my face. Ugh. So yeah, I hope this video was somewhat helpful. If I missed anything, please ask me down below in the comments, because I would love to answer all of your university related questions. If there's any other university related topics that you would like me to cover or make some sort of specific video about, please let me know. I would love to add it to my university series. And that is all. I'm gonna go now because my friend is literally like 2 minutes away from my house. Have a lovely day, stay positive, smile, and I'll see all your sexy ass faces in my next video. Bye!